Welcome back to opening day of the summer split, where game one kicks off in just about 9 minutes. And last split, we introduced the LCS stock market Nilo system, where the analysts are given investment portfolios that they then use to flex their big brains and make big bets on the teams they plan to give returns. First up, let's see where the market opens this summer.
Ring the bell.
Taking a look at all the prices for these squads, I'll give everyone a reminder of how these are calculated. Every individual player on a team is given an ELO value that rises and falls as they win and lose games. So, of course, new, fresh players coming in start at 100. The points move from there. We then, of course, accumulate the value of the team, and that's how they are priced. So I think the thing to point out here is that our spring split champions and the team that finished in first, Team Liquid, is actually sitting third here on the list.
And that's because they lost a lot of games in the back half of the regular split season, and that ended up dropping them down. Remember when we went into playoffs, we were wondering, is Team Liquid even going to be able to beat a lot of these teams out? Yes, we found out that they were able to do so, but TSM and Cloud9 were very strong in playoffs at the end of the regular split, so that's why they're higher.
Yeah, the other thing to remember, too, is it's about 2-week buying and selling periods. You have $5,000 or what points at the beginning, and so a team like Echo Fox right in the middle might be a little interesting, but you need to realize they're playing all three of the top 3 Titans, and then the other team they play is Golden Guardians. They're playing 4 playoff teams. You probably don't want to buy them.
Right. As Mark just mentioned, if you want to play along at home, you start with $5,000 to spend, according to those prices that we had listed for you. We tasked both of these guys here, as well as some of the other broadcast members on the team, with doing exactly that. So, Crumbs, we're going to start with you because you're throwing all 7 of your votes behind TSM here, who sits second highest on the list currently. Explain this logic.
So my strategy is very simple. You should do this at home. Buy high, sell higher. All right? TSM is on a complete warpath. I love that they did last split. Remember, they almost full swept Team Liquid in the finals. I think that if they had a little bit more composure, they would have been able to do so. This team, I think, is just on the complete up and up. And this is me saying, I think this is the split for TSM. I'm going all in. I'm going to continue to buy TSM all split long. Mark me down. I don't care about all the other teams.
It's not about predicting a winner. It's about trying to make the most money.
I'm not sure Crumbs understands the game, Mark.
Buy high, sell higher.
Every 2 weeks, you will get to buy, so take a look at TSM's upcoming schedule. They do, of course, have a rematch of the finals here against Team Liquid. That'll be a tough one. If they do get the victory, it'll net a lot of points. They follow that up with CLG, Flyquest, and Echo Fox. Some middling opponents, at least by the standing sake. Mark, let's talk about yours, because you went for 13 shares of 100 Thieves.
I can buy twice as much.
Our cheapest team in the league.
They were 10th place. They went on a horrible side at the end of the split, but I don't think anyone really believes they're actually the 10th place team in the league, so they're so much cheaper than everyone else that even if they go 2-2 in that schedule, it's only Team Liquid who's the playoff team, but they're so far above them. It's an ELO system. The loss will not be that significant. And then they're playing a bunch of other non-playoff teams, which I think they can easily pick up wins against. You go 2-2, and you were the cheapest team in the league, you're still making money off of it.
That is very true. You know what's crazy to me is that's with Amazing joining at a fresh 100, which actually would have elevated the team's value. And so
they would have been even cheaper.
Still the cheapest. But again, if you want to play along at home, $5,000, make your picks for the first 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you'll be able to rebuy based on the value of your portfolio at that point. Opening day kicks off with Cloud9 versus Flyquest. Then it's a spring finals rematch between Team Liquid and TSM, followed by CLG's new top laner, Ruin, challenging Amazing under the 100 Thieves banner. And then we have 2 more matches before we call it for day 1. Now, cast your mind back to the end of spring split. The conversations around the league were concentrated on which of the bottom 7 teams could contest the league's titans, Team Liquid, TSM, and Cloud9. And as you both recall, our crew was divided on who would actually take the title between those top 3.
Right, there's this rocks, paper, scissors thing going on where C9 would lose to Team Liquid, beat TSM, who would then beat Team Liquid. And, you know, all throughout the regular season, they were going back and forth. They were clear-cut the best 3 teams in the league. But then when playoffs rolled around, that rock, paper, scissors reversed and went the other way, with TSM reverse sweeping Cloud9, who then got reverse swept by Team Liquid. So it was a complete mess at the top of the table, but it was still clearly those 3.
And the thing that makes these teams titans is that they're always really good at just dispatching competition that is slightly weaker. They really won't drop games that are unnecessary.
Right.
And that's why towards the end of the first half, we were looking at Team Liquid and we were really worried. They were dropping games to teams that they definitely should not have lost games to. And so that's where the trouble started coming in. But I think that now they'll pick it back up. You got summer, the race to Worlds is here. It is full steam ahead.
All in all, those 3 teams were a step above the rest in Spring Split. But as we talk about the top 3 teams, Coach Invert wants to break the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, the overwhelming narrative seems to be that the North American Worlds teams are set, and I love nothing more than to destroy a very clean narrative like that. So everyone's really hungry, really motivated, giving us that little extra burst of energy to kind of challenge that norm and to make sure that we are that 3rd team or we are that 2nd team or we're that 1st team as well. Like, we feel pretty confident going into the split that we can push through. We set up our practice differently to make sure that we're learning more and that we're improving at a greater pace. So for me, I want to destroy that narrative. I want to be one of those teams at Worlds. So
Invert coming to destroy that clean top 3 narrative. And while all of that was happening at the top of the table last spring, teams were trying their best to prove that they could be in the same conversation. Closest to making a case was our 4th place team in Flyquest.
Yeah, I mean, this team actually has a lot of OG talent that means that you could make a claim for being that top 3 team. You got Paul Belcher, you got Wild Turtle, Santorin as well, which we've seen for a while, and then Viper, who got Rookie of the Split, and then you got JJ, who's now swapping time with Wadid, a really good European support. So the team has the talent to do so. It's just a matter of, can they get to that point? Because they faltered in playoffs last split, and they're a new team. So maybe they got some good lessons there that they can apply on this time around.
And a lot of people are looking to the younger guys for where that improvement's going to come from the most, especially Santorin and Viper, both them grind lording in solo queue recently, hitting top 10, Santorin hitting number 1. So people are looking at them, and especially Viper, I think, coming in as a Rookie of the Split last year, and he's going up against the 2018 Spring Rookie of the Split, which was Licorice. Those were their stats for their Rookie Split, and you see how good Licorice was.
So dominant.
Viper came in much more of an underdog, wasn't super hyped up, and kind of stole it out of nowhere, but I think where they go from there is the thing that you want to look forward to, because Licorice is the creme de la creme of North American top laners, and Viper wants to break into that mold.
Yeah, I don't tie too much into it. There are different years, different splits, different metas, but yeah, it looked really good for Licorice compared to Viper there, and the hopes for me is that things are shifting to the point where a top laner is expected to play wonky champions. They have to bring out your pikes. You got to have all the flex picks. You got to be able to use any matchup that you get the advantage in. And so if you can give Viper that freedom, we know what he can do on these niche picks. He was a Riven 1 trick at one point. I think that he can pull it off in all the other ones.
We saw in that little feature of him earlier in the show that he definitely has the drive to be in the conversation for best top laner here in North America. I will end the first countdown of the split, though, like I have the ones before it, with your predictions for our first day of games. We're throwing them all up there at one time.
Ooh.
Both of you calling C9 over Flyquest. Both of you claiming that TSM will get the better of TL in the rematch, but CLG 100 Thieves, middle of the day. Mark Z going for 100 Thieves.
He's biased. He's biased. He obviously bought stuff.
But they did make a roster change you believe will shore up. You kind of mentioned the whole plug-and-play aspect, whereas for CLG there might be a bit more of an adjustment period. So I'm actually more curious on your end, Crumbs, why you have the confidence in this squad out the gate.
Well, I think that last time around when these teams faced off, you would almost certainly give it to CLG. So this time in this split, 100 Thieves made a lot of adjustments that take a lot of time to get used to. You got a new jungler and a new mid laner as well. Those are some of the most important roles in the game. To come in game 1, you're gonna tell me in the new meta you've already figured yourself out and you can beat CLG? I don't think so. I think that CLG is gonna be looking a lot more prepared here because they made less drastic changes.
Plug and play, they got it, no problem.
I got 20 seconds left, so I'll just say we'll see.
Fair enough. We shall see. That's the third game of the day. We're kicking it off with Cloud9 versus Flyquest. With that, we're throwing it out to the battle arena. Kobe and Freak, take it away.
Thank you very much, Dash. We've got an amazing audience here in Los Angeles. Cloud9 taking on Flyquest. And as you can see from their screens, Champion Select has begun. Rematch of the third place match here. Cloud9, everyone's expecting to be the third best team or the top 3 team in North America to make it to Worlds. Ooh. We heard Invert say that Flyquest want to shake that up, but an upset here would be good about doing that.
Feels good to be back, Freak. First game of summer.
Yeah.
Looking fresh already with the Draven bans coming out on the side of Cloud9. Sona Taric combination also being broken up from the side of Flyquest.
Rakan ban dropping them off as well. Do want to point out JJ is still starting right now for Flyquest. It does mean that as we see the Echo Fox game later on in the day, Turtle and JJ will be the longest standing duo lane in North America. They started week 3 of summer last year, so they are now the famous duo to take a look at here. And they have been very good for Flyquest. It's been a pretty good year for them so far. They're the most likely to crack into that top 3 going towards Worlds. We see that Yuumi is dropped off the ban list as well. Apparently Nocturne made an early appearance. Don't worry, we'll get that sorted out soon enough. But it is still the Draven and Rakan ban on the Cloud9 side, the Yuumi and Sona ban from Flyquest.
Yeah, we can continue to update you on the bans while we're working on this. A lot of support focus here. No surprise that, you know, the Rakan, another one of those flashy initiators, has been taken out. But Yuumi, we were super excited. You know, first games back in summer is available right into the ban bucket here. That champion. A lot of people have been kind of on the fence about it in solo queue, but it definitely has huge power, especially early on, poking in lane phase.
Yeah, it does deal a lot of damage, actually a bit of a mage support in that regard. Rek'Sai, by the way, has been banned out by Cloud9, answered by a Jace ban in here for the Flyquest side. Keep in mind, we are still on 9.10 here for week 1 of the LCS, so all the 9.11 nerfs, such as the ones onto Jace, do not exist right now in this world. Cloud9 at first pick Galio. Galio is another champ who was nerfed in 9.11, so still top tier support, and is going to be grabbed right away, almost definitely going to Zeyzal.
Yeah, something we saw a lot of in international play at MSI.
Yeah.
Bottom lane engage supports. The Galio with taunt flashes, with Ignite, definitely a very strong combo for possible 2v2 plays. And I have to say, Wild Turtle and JJ, as you mentioned them, now being the longest standing duo in the North American LCS, last spring, I think they were the most underrated. They consistently got lane 2v2 kills by themselves.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do go up here. Updating you on some more of the picks. After the Galio pick by Cloud9, Flyquest answered with the Aurelia and the Rise.
Aurelia and Rise. And what's funny is we had some pregame chat where Pobelter and Niski were bantering, and Pobelter called out a 1 in 17 Aurelia that Niski played in scrims. So I enjoyed that one. Grabs it himself, though. Keep in mind, if you want to see more Aurelias beating up on Danish mid laners, or I should say European in NA mid laners, ProView, sell out real quick. Check out Pobelter, and maybe he'll have a good one there. Aatrox gets grabbed for Cloud9, probably to Licorice, and Niski's going to be on Sylas here as the final picks get rounded out, and Flyquest then grab Braum.
Yeah, a lot of the meta has been very similar, with these super powerful, flexible picks for solo lanes being high priority. Aurelia Rise on one side, Sylas answering on the other side. This is not a very big deviation from the international play that we saw on stage.
What is going to be different, though, is that it is, of course, new Aatrox. Those who have played solo queue, I'm sure you've seen him terrorizing your games. But it is the big changes where his passive auto attack heals him for a whole bunch. His ult doesn't revive till he gets an assist, and heavily amps his own healing. So he's a gigantic drain tank. He's basically mooted with more damage.
Yeah.
Very strong champion.
It's super scary when he's ahead, right? Because you can reset, get the ults, get more speed. But that being said, like, the weakness of it not reviving you. Hey, we're back! It not reviving you if you don't get the kill can sometimes mean, you know, for junglers, I do like to focus Aatrox lanes if they get behind early. You can try and keep them behind and make it that way for the majority of the game.
So quick things to point out here. I know the bottom band slightly cut off. That is Ezreal and Sejuani banned away by C9, and Sivir and Kai'Sa banned away by Flyquest. So several bot lane marksmen are banned, and Xayah is grabbed right off the top here as well. Total locks that. And even though we knew Rakan was banned earlier on, it's going to be another late game scaling crit synergy marksman. Essence Reaver recently buffed as well. Helps this Xayah for Wild Turtle.
Yep, Xayah in the last half here, even without the possibility of the Rakan combination, still just so much power in this champion. You kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, she can build very, very easily into these crit builds. And has a lot of safety from some of these dive tools with the ultimate. Hecarim also being locked in here. Very, very powerful for Svenskeren. That is going to be him on the Warrior. Trinity Force Hecarim was a critical part of the C9 strategy in spring.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good right there. And sneaky in lane, going to have Varus for himself alongside that Gala that we expect. I do want to slightly consider Aatrox still flexible with Hecarim.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's Aatrox top, Hecarim jungle most likely, but we have seen those champs played in those other respective roles. And now Vi is coming back in as well. Love the champion, made her debut sort of at MSI, here and there, and then finally, I think solidly in the meta, jungle Vi.
It's definitely a champion that's really good at diving Varus. Vi with the point and click, with these low mobility carries, is good to try and get to that back line, kill the target. Vi is also quite good at snowballing these solo lanes. So Vi plus Aurelia or Vi plus Ryze have very easy to execute kill combinations, playing off the other one's crowd control.
Absolutely the case here. And keep in mind again, Aatrox does not revive with the ultimate unless he gets a killer assist. So the 2-for-1 up top lane could work very, very well. Hecarim is indeed the jungler there. Silas for Niski is going to be that pick as well. And we get the final looks from the coaches as they once again begin their summer split with these teams.
I do want to see, is the Hecarim going to take Ignite? Because this has been something that's been taking over solo queue in very high-rated games. Is the Ignite Hecarim's now no longer taking Ghost or Flash? So we'll keep an eye on Svenskeren to see if he's going for that early burst. It's definitely a more early game-oriented summoner spell, though, so maybe not applicable to pro play.
Well, the look I'm getting right now on my champ cycle was that he moved over to Ghost. Sadly, not Ignite, but I think that'd be pretty hyped to see as well. There's always a chance. And now that we are on the loading screen, it is going to be Ghost Hecarim, sadly. I would like to see Ignite Kobe. It would have been kind of exciting, but it is the more standard build here. Otherwise, nothing too out of the ordinary here in Champ Select. TP on both mid laners. Regardless, it is Flyquest and Cloud9 doing battle. Two teams that have a good shot at making it to Worlds. The number 3 and 4 team from the last split. And starting out summer with a win would be great. Here we are onto the Rift, everybody.
First game of summer. We have a little bit of an aberration here. Wild Turtle on the Xayah also taking cleanse in addition, to the safety of the ultimate. He's facing a Varus lane. He's facing a Galio lane. There's quite a lot of possibilities here for use cases on that summoner spell.
Not only is he taking cleanse, he's taking Kleptomancy as well, if I have that read correctly. So that has also been interesting. Q auto, W auto, all those things will very easily trigger onto Zeyzal's Galio or even trades with the Varus. If they're going to play aggro, he's going to get a lot of extra gold.
All right, chants from both sides, hyped up in the crowd. Cloud9 fans, very, very sad at getting reverse swept in spring, and Flyquest were so close moving further up in playoffs as well.
I'm gonna have to correct that. I am sorry, that is a bug on the graphics display right here on my screen. It is Lethal Tempo on the Xayah. It is not Halo Blades and Necrom. That is a Conqueror. So we'll get that updated soon enough, but different keystones than what you are seeing on the screen right here, if my spectator screen is to be believed. Regardless, we are onto this game, and as we get ourselves sorted out on this one, let's see what these players have in store for us. Level 1s have not been too aggressive. Nothing too outstanding happening right here as we wait for the junglers to start. Looks like Vi is going to be on the blue, and a bottom side start for Svenskeren as well.
And remember, now that we are on the new patches with the later Scuttle spawns, pretty much all junglers are going with much more, level 3 clears. So we do expect them to be farming quite a bit more rather than going for those super early ganks, especially when you have Vi and Hecarim trying to get a couple levels here. So yeah, they both just clearing on their buff sides, and pulls from both bottom lanes means they both get there a little bit late, and only one minion missed here on the side of Turtle.
Lethal Tempo starting up here. Centauran is doing the very easy, take these single target camps out first. The W very good for that, so we're going to get through this pretty quickly.
And even if you're looking at the mini-map here, I do like to pay attention to how the enemy teams are trying to track both junglers. They ping down both of the options. Hecarim's either rotating back down to the Krugs or going over to blue side to start on the Wolves. So Flyquest is not completely sure, and Svenskeren has opted to go over to the blue side. He's going to finish up, get that mana regeneration done first, and Santorin does a full blue side clear. With Vi, since you start Machete, it's much easier to do the camps that have less monsters in them. He's going to pick up the red buff, and then we might see some movement here. Hecarim actually already into the river, so if he gets down an early ward. Scuttlecrab's still a long time away, so maybe he even wants to fight.
Oh, not going to spot each other just yet, just out of the fog of war. He's going to look for the red, but it's already going to be gone, but might still be able to come down through Santorin. Might see the chickens being hit, as the mid lane's getting really low as well. Niski taking a chunk right there, and now the Hecarim is there to fight. Santorin pushed off, and will lose a couple of small raptors. Now Smites in goes for good damage. I think Santorin actually grabbed that one, but is pushed off the camp.
Ooh, and it was pretty risky here because you could see the reason Santorin goes back in, Pobelter has more health in the mid lane, but Niski had shoved the wave in and also was rotating over to the side. So both junglers kind of pull off of that fight. Svenskeren was not chased out there as Niski still had enough in the tank to threaten following that roam. Since the bottom lane is pushed up,
yep.
Congratulations, you got Scuttle Crab.
It spawned just about 20 seconds ago, and that one's gonna go to Sven, no problem at all. And now we do have ourselves the other top Scuttle being taken down pretty quickly as well. Santorin's gonna have no problem getting that one, so it will be a trade. Bot line priority means one thing, but being on this other map means another, and these junglers on a fairly similar farm count. Looking quickly at the top lane, it's +4 for Viper, that's a good start for him. Bot lane slightly advantaged for Sneaky in lane alongside Zazen.
Yeah, pretty good spot for the wave here on top side for Licorice too. He's holding it right in front of the tower. So we might see some junglers called over to help push this up. Yeah. Currently, Viper wards for himself. Does feel a little bit risky. Hecarim is definitely adept at coming through for lane ganks because Aatrox can set him up with the small knockups. But it looks like we're going to have Santorin on the Vi hovering around. He's not too far away, and you could delay enough.
And that was nice by Viper. Kept the cannon alive, able to use that to jump right back out of the Infernal Chains, and no harm there either. The top Scuttle helping, and yeah, he was okay to finally get that push through and not get denied too much when he finally gets that recall off. Double longsword in for Viper, and the other pieces of the Tiamat when allowed. I'm sure what helps this as well as we get the recalls off from the junglers, red smites for both of them.
All right, so currently then the teleport advantage is still held by Licorice. He's not gone back to purchase. Meanwhile, Viper with the extra longswords in inventory is going to have that combat potency. Going to have to watch out a little bit on the side there. Meanwhile, both junglers with the challenging smite. I do expect some early combat here from both of those guys. They do get very, very powerful level 6 all-ins.
All right, so we are just waiting. As you mentioned, there is a chance of the early aggressive ganks because of the challenging smite. So far, haven't seen it just yet. You've seen Viper play very safely. You saw both his E and his W clearing out minions in the top side, trying not to get picked off. Quick recall out from JJ's Braum here as well. And now they fight in the top side. Oh, he's so low! The first blood of the first game of the LCS goes to Viper. He wants you to know his name.
Oh, it's the new rookie of the split taking down the old as he goes for the dive. Remember, Licorice had not purchased, still was on the level 1 items there.
Oh, he's got a vial.
Yep.
Oh, but he's got teammates. JJ came down as well.
With great power comes great responsibility, Freak. You don't want to always insta-ult on in there. And it was a good call, too, because there was a roam from the Flyquest support as JJ was headed towards the mid side. So sometimes you need to hold back a little bit. This game, though, fireworks already.
Fireworks indeed. We get back into the lane. Do want to point out that, of course, the top lane kills were traded back and forth. 100 gold lead for first blood, but as you mentioned, TP advantage, I believe Licorice got to burn it just now, shove in part of a wave. So that 100 gold cost for losing that fight early on means he can now fight Pobelter, level 6 with both these, and there's the fight! There's that great power, and the responsibility falls on Pobelter to die.
Leaves behind the control ward. There's the vision that they wish they had a little bit earlier. Licorice gets some revenge with a roam down.
Whew. That was nice. That's the payoff, Kobe. You called out the TP difference. That is what happened there. Roamed into mid, saw Beeson to fight. Now Liquid pops the ult, takes plenty of damage. Can he do enough? He can't stun him! And Viper takes him down again!
Oh, we are just having clapbacks on clapbacks, Freak. As Viper will avenge Pobelter this time. And this top lane is a bloodbath. Meanwhile, down on the bottom side, some deep vision for Cloud9 as Niski and Svenskeren went on a duo roam into the enemy jungle.
This is exciting stuff right here. So a gold lead for Flyquest. You can see 500 up for them as they push on through. We can watch that topside fight again.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it a little bit earlier, but Aatrox not going to be able to have the revive. Actually, this is the level 5 earlier one. Conqueror is proc. Viper going for it on Aurelia. This is what prompted the initial dive that got us all hyped up. He flashes for it. He actually dinged level 6 on that. He'll use that level 6 in this next replay to get kill number 2 on Licorice, who's trying to walk back to lane. A little bit greedy on that inside route. Him hugging the wall there allowed an easy stun for Viper. Being up against the wall, already using the dash meant that there was no way Licorice could dodge that stun, and it allows Viper to go for the all-in. Now he's the one wearing the bounty. He's got Tiamat as well. That really helps with Aurelia being able to shove the wave, off of those resets.
Yeah, that kill picked up, and then a bit of a farm lead now as well. With you can see, well, that's getting answered, so that's not going to be too much anymore. But still did a good job as the mid lane still pretty close to equal. Small lead to Pobelter. Keep in mind he was killed by the opposing top laner, so that certainly makes it even harder for the Rise.
All right, now as we're looking forward to, and keep track of all these summoner spells, because with so much fighting on the top side, remember in Champion Select we talked about Vi looking to snowball these solo lanes with that ultimate. Single target, point and click, hard CC, extremely good, at helping snowball either of those lanes. But it's actually the C9 solo laners that are invading Flyquest and the Vi to try and keep track of Santorin and cut those plays off before they even get started.
And still has his Raptors, and now suddenly a silence. There's the Aatrox as well. He's got flash. Doesn't get very far away. Puts the ult in, but he's got no way out now. Can't get the Q off either.
It's the solo laners ganking the jungler. Woo! The tables have turned, my friend. That's how you avoid getting hit with the Vi ultimate. You invade, go look for the kill. And that's because both Licorice and Niski are consistently shoving up their waves to allow them this 30 seconds between each wave to go on very aggressive routes here and invade Santorin. Now he sees his ward go down. He goes over to auto-attack the ward to try and clear it, but they had no vision on Licorice. They thought it was just Niski, and once the Aatrox comes down, Pobelter knows that that is a losing 2v2. He has no part in it.
Yeah.
And that is going to be another successful C9 invade. But this game has been back and forth with so many kills being answered, mostly from Viper on the top side, getting them back to Flyquest, that the goal is still very much close. And neither of those solo lanes has been snowballed out of control.
You can see only 600 gold separate in the top lanes here, and even with the gold deficit, Licorice has been doing plenty here in this one. The mid lane pretty close by as well, but Pobelter's been a bit more locked up into his area. The bottom lane not too far apart, but it is a pretty reasonable lead for Sneaky here.
It definitely is, and the bottom lane are trying to do their part, as you say, focusing mostly on the farming up, because both these teams have drafted such powerful solo laners that they're looking for kind of the meta that we saw on the international stage, where getting the solo laners ahead, you can transition later into the game to pushing out the side waves with either the Rise Aurelia side or the Silas Aatrox side, and that's where most of the focus is.
All right, Licorice back over the wall to take the farm that he has been thrown toward. Viper getting a farm lead, a lot of this I think because of the Licorice roams, but that is something that will maybe pay itself off further down the line as 100 CS Aurelia. We've seen a lot happen there. And Santorin back out on the map, on the back foot here, but does have finished Warrior, can make him a bit better of a fighter. Sees no wards around, goes back up top side of the jungle. There's Krugs to take.
Yep, both junglers on pretty equal footing here. Good timings on their Warrior enchantment completions. Hecarim with the move speed on Boots, a little bit of an advantage, as well as the extra level. So we'll see where Svenskeren goes with this next ultimate. The Ghost is a much lower cooldown summoner spell and gives combat effectiveness in addition to the mobility for Hecarim. So Svenskeren actually has quite a bit more options than Santorin right now. And with the supports recalling and going for roams here, you can see C9 taking advantage of that fact and using the duo to actually clear out a lot of those wards.
Ruler placement does come down for JD to track that one gank path, and with supers on cooldown, it's not going to go down for a little while as Viper puts an aggressive ward himself and hopes to track more of the movements that might be available to Svenskeren, and pretty much anywhere he does go aggressive should be spotted out by Flyquest vision lines. Licorice has to figure out what did go down, and roams back down, maybe towards the blue buff. Says, okay, the control doesn't put there, but maybe somewhere else, and back to lane to grab his own farm. Mid lane still trading very equal in CS.
And we're getting access to the ultimates as well. Pobelter with the Rise ultimate can threaten to roam to each side of the map. With Santorin and JJ actually starting up this dragon after Pobelter pushes the mid wave, they should be able to burn it down before any answer comes. Yeah, Zaza's trying to steal it over the wall, but should not be able to get it.
Now before Mirabel, it's not going to happen, so Flyquest Cloud Drake in for them. No aggression coming through. They have the auto attack and the Q coming in, another Viol stolen.
And I really like that for Flyquest now, I think with the Dragon taken off of the map, Santorin should focus topside. Viper is their strongest player. This Aurelia with the extra CS lead, with the extra 2 kills, that combined with a Vi ultimate should be able to get them a kill, and they could really snowball their win condition ahead. Meanwhile, Cloud9, you know, with Niski here in the mid lane on the Silas stealing ultimates, has to be the biggest thing they're worrying about.
Well, Santorin is going to spot out that Hecarim is taking the Scuttle, well, the empowered Scuttle, Rift Herald. Similar, you know, same genius, I think, really. Just, you know, different members of the family.
She was mutated by the essence of Baron, I believe.
Sure, yeah.
Scuttling a little bit too much around the Baron pit gave her super strength.
Very strong either way, meaning a grim end in this game, only 13 minutes in. And it looks like they might not be able to summon it in time to knock down plates, but at least it will almost definitely mean first turret somewhere on the map for Cloud9, so a surge of gold all the same, as down goes a few more minions, and this game still sits only 500 apart, and it's 500 minus the Cloud Drake that Flyquest picked up earlier, so still a very close one as scaling comes in. Blade of the Ruin King done for Sneaky. Want to point out that Rageblade, of course, underwent changes after MSI before summer started, so it is going to be a weaker second item if he wants it at all. We'll see if that does come through, but Crit Marksman scaling, yes, CS deficit, but not out of the world of coming back into this one.
Definitely extremely powerful still in the team fights. And that's one thing I like about Xayah. Isn't one of those crit marksmen that you have to get the Infinity Edge multipliers coming through with your first Zeal item. The cooldown reduction from Essence Reaver also goes a long way in boosting up the damage output here, with so much of it being spell reliant on the Blade Caller. And with bottom side being both junglers looking for possibilities down here, we might actually get some action as they fight over the wards that really control the river here, which is your main gank pathway throughout Summoner's Rift. And definitely gives a lot of power over to the one that controls it.
All right, now Cloud9 doing their best to control the bottom river, but Sweeper not popped, will not get rid of the rest of these wards. Over the wall goes Herald, though, and this should be in first turret mid lane.
Yeah, this is a possible 5-person collapse from Cloud9. They're all congregating around the mid lane with the Rift Herald charging. They're threatening a dive.
All right, Pobelter and Santorin both forced off right now. They will be able to walk away from this one as no one is killed. And Niski no longer has Assault and Battery available anymore. Still can't steal the next one from Santorin as turret does go down. Gold's given over, and back to the lanes they go.
So in the end, we do get that trade, right? The Cloud Dragon over to Flyquest and the Rift Herald successful use by Cloud9 to gain that first turret bonus you were talking about.
Yep, 650 total. We're knocking on the turret plus the first bonus on top. Bot lane is shoved in and will be easily picked up here for Sneaky, no problem afterwards. Svenskeren, though, waiting for potential aggression. You talked about how Santorin maybe should play around topside, but it's actually C9 doing a bit more of that, maybe shutting down Viper. And Sneaky hasn't needed any help, but in the mid lane after the Herald, now the top lane getting pushed in, and look at that. That is going to be gold and maybe XP lost out by this top lane. Yeah, he's going to lose a little bit. It's a cannon minion wave, so he actually sneaks back in there with the dual lane recalling. Reinforcements, but over the wall goes Aatrox. Couldn't find the stun, so he's just fine. They get the control ward, and essentially no harm, no foul. I think all that gold was picked up after all, so they're fine. But the attempt was still made. Yeah, I think if the stun lands, you maybe get that summoner spell out of the Aatrox there. But not going to be able to find that stun this time around. And Licorice saves the Umbral Dash, gets over the wall just fine, and exits. They avoid the recall there. Every time you have the duo recall, have to give the extra 30 seconds of safety because that support could roam to either side of the map and really turn around, one of those 1v1 situations. So get another look at the bottom lane right now. I want to point out how many wards actually Flyquest have put down inside the lane. There's 2 inside there, as well as these ones up the river. So it's a lot of vision that pretty much completely tracks Zeyzal at all times. They know if he's lurking in the lane. You can see those 2 wards right there. They know if he's roaming up towards mid. It's almost impossible for him to sneak out, so no surprise there's 0 assists on those players. Yeah, I actually feel like Flyquest have done a better job tracking the Galio than C9 have been able to track the Braum even, which is kind of crazy considering the difference in mobility of the two champions. I really do think, though, with Trinity Force completed for Viper, this Aurelia is the Flyquest story. Infernal Drake's coming up now, so we'll see how that story plays out because he's got teleport. He could just go for the recall and try and walk down there, then use teleport to get back defensively. But we'll see if Flyquest actually pull the trigger here. Infernal Drake is a very big prize. And that is spawned just right now, so this is something to worry about. You can see C9's vision, and it's not too bright. They've got a very little bit. They see now 3 right there as Azel walks away, takes the root though, and gets chucked about 2/3. They're not going to go for much more than that right now. As snipes come in, another assault and battery stolen. Niski has an affinity for that one, it seems. And unsurprising there, as Aurelia is coming down as well. So the squads are converging for this fight for Infernal.
Yeah, they definitely want to fight over this Infernal. That percentage increase in damage later in the game is going to be so big in swinging those side lane matchups between the solo laners. This is going to be a fight. They're going to contest it. Bear's ultimate misses, though.
That is a rough one. That's a pretty important team fight ulti, but they're still going to stick around. There is the pull in forward towards the rise. Galley over the top. Here comes Hecarim as well. Looking for a kill, and C9 cannot find it. Belter draws the kill and looking for a little bit more. Viper jumps in, looking for another kill into Licorice, slows him down, and here comes Realmorph. It's Pope going through into that one. They're going to surround the Aatrox, and he goes down. The world is ended, and Flyquest take it 2 for 0.
Flyquest focused down Svenskeren as he goes for the engage, and Cloud9 had no one else to follow up there, so it's a clean victory here for Flyquest. Infernal Drake will be picked up on their side.
Azel did channel ulti. I didn't see what stopped it, but it didn't go all the way through. Either way, there was no easy follow-up regardless, and Flyquest Infernal Drake plus 2 kills. Now the gold lead and those 2 Drakes.
All right, we're going to take a look at this replay. Sneaky fires the ultimate, dodged by everyone from Flyquest, and then C9s want to use this Vi stolen ultimate plus the Galio combination, but like you're saying, this Galio is right on the front line, gets hit with the tip of the Braum ultimate. What a heads-up play from JJ. The guy where they just brought in a new support on the team. JJ, though, very big team fight play right there. He wins them the mid-game with that Braum ultimate. That wins the team fight, gets the Infernal Drake, and it gives Flyquest the opportunity now to push up their wards.
This was an impressive start now for Flyquest. They were the team on the outside looking in. They were the very obvious 4th best team in the LCS, and C9, a lot of people thought we're actually the best team into the spring postseason. Just didn't quite get that victory over TSM in the semis, and this is a very good look.
Definitely true. With the 2 elemental Drakes, that's a big advantage. Cloud9 still have plenty of gold to work with. So until the side lane towers actually fall and we start to see the takeover of those 1v1 matchups, maybe we'll hold off on calling the complete win of the mid game, but
yeah, I mean,
definitely a huge step. Level 11 here for the Hecarim as well, and Cloud9 are looking to position on the top side.
And both squads kind of lurking around right now. A couple of wards down, a couple of sweepers pop to look for it. Vision over the Baron pit just in case. A little bit of nervousness out of the Flyquest side. They're going to be fine here. And Turtle, you can see how far back he has to sit right now. Knows that Hecarim, Galio's not up right now, but it will be soon. That combo is pretty much death if you can't outplay it all, and is smart about playing it a bit safely here. Takes the wave on his side of the river.
Yeah, that's the most dangerous thing about the map setup right now. Mid tower being down on the side of Flyquest, I mean, they have to defend their own jungle, with their bodies, with their wards right now, trying to keep track of the roam.
Well, Viper goes in for a fight right now. Does have opponents around him. Pops the ulti in that was stolen away by Niski. Takes a snipe now as well. Licorice showing up to the fight. Once again, all 5 of C9 are around. Rise TPing in late. Now he's here as well. But by the time he shows up, Flyquest already want to go away. That is a cooldown burn for no gain, as he will be the wave clear champion now, and no kills picked up, but JJ's still a bit injured. Could be found out by Zazel. Takes some damage. There's a flash into everything, and the kill is picked up. 4-4 on the scoreboard. Now Poelter alone under his turret. That turret's not too healthy, but C9 not going to go for the dive just yet.
Santorin waving to him from the other side. Goodbye, friend!
With the big gauntlets, here comes the pile drive, and a stopwatch buy sometimes. Svenskeren forced out. Now the knockup. Poelter turns around one is answered back. Here comes the rest of the fight as Viper rejoins now as well. It will be the revive. In for the one. It's still alive, and they would have chunked down everything. A clean enough team fight for C9.
Oh, Flyquest should have just waved goodbye. They thought they could do it with the stasis on the stopwatch from Poelter, but in the end, Cloud9 get the successful kill on the top side. They get the tower, and they're going to start up the Baron.
This seems almost guaranteed. The amount of tanking Licorice did in that team fight through the ultimate and all the extra healing, but now it's 2v4. Flyquest want to stop, and the health bar is low enough. This is a full resource Xayah. So Baron will not go down, and we will stop for the next one.
What an action-packed game here. Cloud9 with the big strike back. Huge teamfight victory up on this top side, and they actually get an extra kill out of it. Let's take a look at how they start this off. Now they have the Hecarim ult combined with the Galio. Poelter with a very nice stopwatch does buy them time and does get him the counter kill onto Zazel. But then Santorin is under the turret. Licorice does have the reset on Aatrox, so he continues to deal damage under there. And
so much health.
Finish off the second 2 kills plus the tower.
And this is a guy, right? Like, keep in mind, your ulti gives you bonus healing while it's on. He's got Triumph. He's got a bunch of points in E, which is Omnivamp in the first place. There's a Death Dance now. I don't know if he had it back then, but either way, just healed an absurd amount and tanked through like 7 turret shots.
Top side, though, Niski's going for a 1v1 exchange with Pobelter, who's given
really good damage. A solo kill from behind.
Woo! Woo! Pobelter, North American top 10 mid laner, self-proclaimed, is able to find the solo kill as Niski goes aggressive and has no way out.
That's a really big pickup right there. It means the game is within 1,000. Svenskeren wants his attempt here. Shields come back in. It's pretty good trading though for Pope. And yeah, not a chance. Sven's gonna run right back away.
Yeah, there is a Galio here. Zeyzal doesn't have his ultimate, but he could walk up there and try and 2v2. C9 out looking to defend on the bottom side. Viper's gonna finish up the turret though.
Opportunity for Sprox come in, turret goes down. Flyquest actually winning in the turret game. Once again tied in gold. These teams are playing neck and neck, and look at that. Infernal #2. Sven does not have Smite. Fly don't know that, but if they stay, they will win that battle. Aside from the team fight that they might not win because Cloud9's showing up.
C9 committing with the teleport here. Let's see if they actually go for the team fight. Niski has not stolen an ultimate yet. He's looking for the Braum. Nope, gets Xayah.
That's not too great, but it'll exist. Does have the ulti available now on this one as they look to punch in some damage. Flyquest move forward. JJ finds a slow. A little bit of damage on him as well, waiting for the next move to come in. C9 do have initiative on mid. They can push that in easily.
We got the Dragon Stare Down, freak.
Yep.
Infernal Drake #2 started up. Actually, Flyquest leashing it, and Licorice looking for the flank.
Just over the wall. We have seen him win some big crucial team fights over that wall specifically. Doesn't get it just yet, but knows he is around and not always visible. Here comes the chance and a smite picked up there by Svenskeren. Doesn't even need the smite, and the fight is on. Galio over the top, and Cloud9 are walking over Flyquest. And 3 for 1, make it a fight. L/ means all 5, and ace plus the Drake for C9.
And just like that, Cloud9 wiped the floor with Flyquest. Infernal Drake Svenskeren gets the objective. Plus, they dominate the team fight. 5 members down means Baron is easy.
This time, Turtle's not here to stop them. This will be claimed. C9's gold lead already 2,500. Make it 4K after they respawn. Take the recall, and it'll be on all 5 members. Svenskeren will revive in time. The smite is not needed. No one's going to get in range. And you can even see Flyquest. Santorin walks to the bottom side. He knows he can't steal it. Buffs on all 5. Gigantic gold lead Cloud9.
All right, we're going to see another replay here where the Galio on display. Big reason why this support was first picked. A lot throughout MSI too, but big AoE. Svenskeren, after getting the Drake, also gets the big Hecarim ultimate, and then Zeyzal with the Galio AoE coming down after that. That is just too much AoE CC for the small river confines to pull out a teamfight victory on the side of Flyquest, and Cloud9 run right over them. Now with Baron buff, they should steamroll through these towers very quickly.
A lot of crowd control in that teamfight comp. They all pressed R, and it went really, really well their way. Black Cleaver in for Santorin, gets his 2nd damage out of him finally. Still tier 1 boots, feels kind of bad, but that's just the way it is.
Walking around with those brown bags on your feet feels a little bit slow, but they'll get some defenses upgraded pretty soon. Right now, they're just going to have to kind of hug towers and play defensively, though. Wait for the gold that trickles in through your lanes, and don't want to overextend.
And there's about 900 gold that needs to be grabbed onto Wild Turtle. He is pickaxe plus combine away from Infinity Edge, which is a crucial power spike on this champion. Needs the 900 to get all the way there. That is going to be several minutes, so this whole Baron power play will be turrets falling without really a teamfight breakpoint access by Flyquest.
Yeah, Cloud9 not going to have any reason to stop here. Baron up minions coming straight for the inhibitor turrets. They've actually sent back Licorice, who has teleport right now, to go answer with the Rise split push. Pobelter's about to finish off the turret, but he's going to have to get back for some defense.
Let's see what we find now is the turret is being taken down. The Baron's still on for quite some time as a bit of shots come in. The 1v1 of Aatrox versus Rise so far not showing anything.
All that C9 have to do is protect this cannon minion. Buffed up cannon minions got this tower down to 50% already. with the arrows coming through from Sneaky, that is going to be their way inside the base.
That's going to be mid and hip dropping before 28 minutes in, and we'll see what they can do with the rest of this one. There's still plenty of time on the Baron buff. Should be a bit to go still, but what they're going to recall is he knows he can be flanked. And C9 will now go and set their sights towards the bottom lane. In fact, a teleport being used to send Licorice over. They're going to send all 5 right away to blitz this down with the last minute or so of Baron.
Yep, they've got so much power here with the Baron buff. Going to be able to wait around another cannon minion here, just chunking away at the turret. They don't have to play it very quickly. You can see Sneaky just standing there by it. Moves in after everyone from Flyquest backs off. Sven Skarin on the left side of your screen, literally just standing there, S-key, buffing up the minions so it takes Viper longer to clear them out. And C9 closing their grasp on the Flyquest base.
More bits of poke landing for Sneaky. Down goes the engage. Now getting good damage. Oh, and the root! They're going to go all the way in for it, and down goes the Rise. A 1 for 0, and the dive comes in the backline. Hecarim finds 3, ulted up by Vi. Does die for it. The health bar is pretty low, but that dive actually doesn't get any more kills. It's still just the 1 for 1, but the inhib still falls. Cloud9 have broken the base, but can they siege 4v4? Those are going to walk away.
So much taken with that Baron. 2 inhibitors now destroyed on the side of Flyquest. That dragon fight gave them so many rewards, and now it's an easy reset for Cloud9. They have tremendous gold in all of their accounts. They need to go back and spend. Here's another replay. They're able to get the knock up as well as ultimate from Sneaky to find the Rise root here. And then after Sneaky lands the ultimate, Zeyzal does not hesitate, flashes right in, and they've got the team fight.
Really like the Torrent's Vial right there. Tags it, and the timing has to be so tight, by the way. Hecarim is unstoppable during the charge, and then Vi's unstoppable during her R as well. So when Hecarim gets almost to the end point, she has to start the R before she gets feared, but late enough that Hecarim stops charging when she makes contact in order to land the stun. So actually, deceptively a hard timing window there for Santorin. Does land it, does get that kill, and might have even saved the game with just that play.
Saved it for how long?
Maybe not very long, but did save it for now.
C9 back out onto the map. Infernal Drake should easily be picked up here, and that will give them even more power to try and turn top lane.
Yeah.
With super minions going down bottom and through the mid lane, they have a very easy route to end out this game. Meanwhile,
damage on towards JJ. He's going to jump back to his teammate and say, I don't want to be part of this anymore. Nice stun comes out of Viper, and they'll walk away and lick their wounds, i.e. finally now done for Wild Turtle, but it's 3.5 items for Sneaky already, and the rest of the C9 squad is up that 5,000 gold still. Not an insurmountable lead, but a meaningful one all the same.
Yeah, very true. Flyquest here doing their best to hold off the super minions. You can see they've sent Pobelter down to the bottom wave. He's trying to kill as many super minions before they get to the base as possible so they aren't boxed in. The rest of Flyquest is going to have to play very defensively and kite until he can get back. He still has his teleport, so he can teleport back at any time. But with the speed that C9 can get off their engage with all of the, Hecarim, Silas stealing, any hard engage ultimate, and then Galio, they might not have time. So the teleport communication has to be very quick if they want to have any chance on the side of Flyquest of answering.
Okay, watch out for when Pobelter shows up then, how much damage he can do. He does have 3 full completed items. The flat pen build, he can do almost true damage to several members on this roster. 0 MR items have been picked up by Cloud9 across the entire board. So he can be the big threat right here. Now, Baron buff makes sieging a lot harder. The wave clear can actually work this time around. Top lane, they attempt the little bit of a dive, a little bit of a CC by Niski stealing the Braum ulti. Not going to find too much there. Sneaky, oh wow. Got chunked out. I'm pretty sure that was Rise combo. And that means that siege is over.
Pobelter definitely has been dishing out the damage here for Flyquest. Their biggest problem is just their base is in ruins.
Yeah.
All right, meanwhile, a little bit of a brush play here set up for Cloud9. Let's see if how patient they are.
Oh, over the wall. Not very patient already right away. Licorice wants to find something. Can't quite get that kill, though. And instead, here comes the 2-person taunt from Galio. Hecarim over the top. Big CC. Who's the first kill? It's a 1-for-1 so far. In the 4v4, the Viper going to lose his Guardian Angel. And JJ going to drop as well. Still a trade of equal kills. Another one comes in for the Rise. Walter is not stopped right now, but he's got to run away. Temporary numbers lead, though, is Flyquest. They got more kills. C9 are forced out.
Huge stand here from Flyquest to actually keep this game going. 3 members still alive. They've got to fend off so many super minions that you don't really get to take a reward after a fight like that, though. You kind of have to take out the trash.
Yeah, but the major carries are the ones who lived. Viper, Pobelter, and Turtle.
They're actually going to go for it. Rotating towards Baron instead of defending the super minions.
The squad has
If you look at this mini-map, these super minions will destroy that turret if left alone. So Cloud9 just have to keep them here.
Santorin
burning it down.
Spawns in 2 seconds. Viper just Now the 2-on-2. They get the kill right back. No, Licorice has GA but no ultimate. Trying to run away. Flash to the wall is gonna no, he'll burn down the Death's Dance. So a Guardian Angel and a 1-for-1 trade kill seems pretty positive, but now C9 maybe try to answer back. You can see the wave clear now from the Flyquest duo of support and jungle. Do still lose their turret, but their base at least will not fall.
Yeah, Santorin does revive, so they're able to defend the Nexus turret number 2. They did lose number 1, though, so there are a lot of routes in for possible split push here from C9. They've got control of the map. There should probably be a reset up around Baron, throw down some control wards, and then Flyquest still have a fighting chance here. It's definitely very risky, but let's take another look at how this one started out. JJ jumps out of the box there from Licorice. That's the re-engage from Zeyzal that does catch Wild Turtle, but he gets critically outside the fear range of Hecarim for the secondary engage. And you can see Wild Turtle here, even with Cloud9 getting off their AoE, he is able to still free fire and stays up the entire fight. So with Pobelter locking down the damage threats with the Rune Prison there, he's able to finish them off. And he's very happy that they're still in this one.
Yeah, doing pretty well right now. Pobelter and Wild Turtle, a backline threat to be sure. As we now have the 4th item, it's 100% crit chance now for Wild Turtle. Hurricane is done. He will slaughter the front line of C9. If he is not killed, if he R's on time, cleanses on time, flashes on time, he will wreck.
And critically, Flyquest have been able to defend long enough for their inhibitors to come back up.
Ult's in, they're going for Licorice right now, and he won't revive until he gets an assist. Look at the backline dive, it's already turned Pobelter. Nixie can't find that just yet. Turtle's kiting away. He's got one, almost. He got the Guardian Angel, but 1 kill already towards Viper. We got Zeyzal finding a route. Love's geek for a little bit more. On the board as well. Looking for the next engage, though. Could be really good damage. Fly, he just stays alive, but shut down by the Silas. These big carries are missing. They are falling, and it is Pobelter left alone against 3.
Niski and Licorice chasing them down. Can Pobelter defend long enough? He's got 30 seconds on any sort of backup here coming from respawns. And this is going to be Zeyzal, Licorice, and Niski headed straight for that Nexus turret.
They've got a wave and they've got 20 seconds. This seems like it's going to be the game falling right now, and C9 starting their split with a win. Up towards the Nexus, there's the taunt, there's all the damage, they got him indeed. It's the ace, and it's a 36-minute win. Cloud9 start 1-0 in the LCS.
C9, talked up by most of the pro players last split as being the strongest contender going into playoffs. They were very unhappy with that reverse sweep, and they come out swinging day 1 of summer with an explosive victory over Flyquest. Very, very strong opener from the Flyquest side. A lot of kills there for Viper, Pobelter, and Wild Turtle dealing damage later in the game as well.
Yeah, honestly, I was still pretty impressed by them. I think they are still a very, very good team. This was one C9 was expected to win. They did do so, and they are currently undefeated throughout the LCS with their sample size of 1 game, but this is what the expectation was. They're a top team. They should be very good. Licorice looks solid, 6-3-12 on the new reworked Aatrox. I think we're on version 3 right now. Look pretty solid. Sneaky and Zeyzal, just 1 lane heads up 2-on-2. There was very little intervention from teammates, and at one point it was like 99 to 66 CS. This was a pretty substantial heads up 2-on-2 lead overall. End of the game, actually down in gold as eventually they started funneling towards Wild Turtle, but I thought, you know, kind of down the line, everyone looked really good on C9.
Yeah, Sneaky and Zeyzal lane phase extremely strong with that Varus and Galio combination as one of those classics.
Yep.
And they really did pilot those champions extremely well. I liked what Flyquest tried to do in the beginning, maybe a little bit more focused towards the Aurelia side. We could have seen some effort at trying to pry open that sort of 1v1 scenario, because Viper in the beginning was doing so well for them.
2 solo kills on his lane opponent, straight up. No jungle assistance whatsoever. So I agree. I would have liked to see a bit more aggression early game from Flyquest. Regardless, a good win for Cloud9, and now for more on their first victory of the split. Avali standing by with the triumphant top laner.
Thanks, guys. Licorice, congratulations on the first win of the summer split. And it was basically a battle of the rookie of the splits up in top against Viper. Very scrappy. How did you find your opponent today?
I mean, he smacked me around a little bit in lane, so I can't say I won the lane phase, but I think that I was still able to have a really big impact on the game. So, I mean, it was just first game back. I'm happy with it for now, but I'm definitely looking to improve from there.
And speaking to that, this was basically the third place match of Spring Split. After you guys were out of playoffs, you were very vocal about not being satisfied with where you ended up. So what's going to make Summer different?
I mean, I don't know if there's like anything crazy that we're going to do differently. Like, we worked really hard last split and we just like lost it by 1 game in a close best of 5. This time we're going to do the same thing and we're going to win it all.
Well, tell me a little bit about the boot camp that you guys went to during your break in Korea. How did that help you guys prepare for summer?
I mean, boot camping in Korea is always good. The solo queue is like a little bit better, but I think the biggest thing about it is just that everyone, when you're in Korea, you're all super focused. Like, everyone wants to try hard and play and like win and get better. So it's just a really good environment for like improving as a team.
And I want to ask you a little bit about Cloud9 having, amazing international success last year at Worlds. But just a month ago, we saw Team Liquid make it all the way to the finals at MSI. So as a player, what was that like for you watching it?
I mean, it's definitely mixed where like I'm watching it and I'm thinking like, oh, that could have been me. Like, that should have been me up there. But at the same time, like, I'm always happy when NA does well internationally, and I'm really happy for the guys over at Team Liquid.
Well, that being said, Team Liquid versus TSM is our next match. Any predictions going into that game?
Well, I mean, based on MSI, it looks like TL's the second best team in the world, so I'm going to have to go with TL for this one.
Second best in the world. Licorice, thank you and congratulations again. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avali and Licorice. Calling TL the second best team in the world. We'll see if his prediction holds true in that very next game.
Know how they cut the interview the second he said something.
I mean, we heard from Steve earlier say that they'll probably be slow starters, but I want to talk about this game here between our 3rd and 4th place teams from Spring Split. We talked about, setting up Cloud9, TSM, and TL as these titans that the rest of the teams are trying to take down. We heard from Invert himself that he wants to destroy that narrative. It is not predetermined which 3 teams are going to Worlds. Flyquest wants to make a case for it. And this was a very, very close game between these 2 squads.
Yeah, I like what I saw, too, out of the draft. Both teams sticking with a lot of the stuff that we saw become powerful in the MSI meta. You've got Aatrox coming in. He got reworked while we were all away and got a lot different of an ultimate. But everything else, the Sylas, the Ryze, the Aurelia, all the same.
I didn't like the Vi, though. I think that you
cannot like that.
Vi against Sylas. You just can't do it. He gets way more value out of your ultimate. Niski was a better Vi than Centaur in this game. That's what happens when you pick Vi into Sylas. He steals your ultimate. He does way more work with it, lower cooldown as well. Like, what? I think that it's a good pick right now. Yes, with the Aftershock, you can be tanky, you can single somebody out, but you can't do it against Sylas. It's just, you really have to go somewhere else.
That said, the focus of this game was not necessarily around the junglers or even the Vi pick itself. It really was about the 2 top laners. Again, our rookie of the split from last year in Licorice up against this spring's rookie of the split, Viper.
Yeah, good, making good use of Pro View right out the gate. Everyone watching the top lane matchup. Viper was really knowledgeable about his trades, knowing he could take this one. Then the flash follow with, still relatively, close to 100 HP Licorice there, knowing he'd get that kill. Does get executed for, but he had a great game in laning phase, built a CS lead, got all these kills. It was really impressive.
And the fact that Licorice was able to get so much work done after dying twice in lane with no jungle pressure is a testament to me to how good he is as a player, because able to roam and consistently find Santorin, and then his team fighting was just on another level. And we take a look at the kill participation, 85% on the top lane. Like, phenomenal. That is outrageous for a top laner.
But you can see exactly what Licorice was talking about in the interview. Didn't necessarily win the lane with that, down 25 CS at 15 minutes, but it really was about the team fights. Yes, both top laners did their job in that, 1v1 to pick up a kill here or there in some skirmishes, but it was around the team fights that we saw things either go well or break down for both squads.
And C9 had a lot more of the initiation tools on their side. Yeah, there's a Vi for Flyquest, but then you also have a Varus ultimate, you have Niski, you can steal it, you have a Hecarim engage, and so a lot of these fights came down to how well did C9 play them. That one, they blew a bunch of ultimates, missed them, and then got wiped. Here on the top side, a very well executed dive.
This was really weird out of Flyquest. I mean, it looks like they're just all walking into the cemetery one by one, because there's no chance you can actually survive that dive.
Yeah, Turtle's still sitting mid at that point.
Yeah, but this was a fight that began with Licorice once again being at the front lines, just as we saw on the top when he found an amazing flank and just walked away with it. This is Aatrox to me saying super high priority. Now, in Collegiate, it was being permabanned. I think that Aatrox is now, boop, boop, you got to start first picking this champion.
You mentioned ProView getting used. If you're a top laner out there and you want to understand how to play top lane in team fights, that team fight is one to take a look at from Licorice's point of view, and really intelligent flank over that wall there around Dragon to help set up his team for an ace and ultimately a Baron and then a push for the win in the following minutes.
Yeah, but it still was close even after that. They got the Baron, but then they
2 inhibs are down, but
they lost a couple fights mid lane, and they actually had to play pretty well to get back to closing it out. So to the earlier point about, you know, the top 3 getting closed in on, it did feel like Flyquest was super close to winning this game if they played a little cleaner in some of those mid-game fights.
I'm going to just give them the credit that it's day one. Everything goes. It's going to be scrappy. It's going to be messy.
You couldn't ask for a better way to kick off the summer split with exactly that. Seeing that the 2 teams positioned next to each other in the standings at the end of the spring split are really still that close to each other, and it suggests that we're going to have a really tight race throughout the remainder of our 9 weeks here. Up next, though, we've got a rematch of the spring finals. If you're itching to see that match from the point of view of Bjergsen or Double Lift, catch every keystroke on the new ProView available at watch.lolesports.com. Pick yours up, rather, and meet us back here for Game 2.
Fight in the top side. Oh, he's so low! The first blood of the first game of the LCS goes to Viper.
We win this fight. They're going in. Peel back. Yeah. Size. I mean, Hacker. We win this. Go forward. We win.
Here comes the rest of the fight as Viper rejoins now as well. It will be the revive. In for the 1. It's still alive.
I got a reset. Let's go. Rise.
Let's go, Baron. Oh, it's Zaya.
How about Zaya?
Nice.
Nash.
Looking for the next engage, though. Could be really good damage from the fly. He just stays alive, but shut down by the Silas.
One shot.
Oh. Good shit.
Oh, nice.
Is this the G2 ending?
This is G2 ending. 15 minutes later than G2, but yeah.
Oh no, are you okay, Mike?
Yeah, got a pretty big fender bender here.
Don't worry, State Farm's got you covered.
That's great to hear. Robin, what's going on?
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I think so.
We're gonna get you a tow truck, Mike.
Thank you. Real fender bender going on here. Fender bender. Everybody remain calm. No reason to panic.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.